Hi, ladies. I want to talk about the drain on our energy that these arguments that we're having with our partners every day, these circular kind of not going anywhere kind of arguments that don't get resolved. I think you have to come to terms with something which is a little hard. Not everything is going to get resolved. So if it's not going to get resolved, the decision that you must make is, can I put up with it the way it is? That's only something that you can decide, okay? Maybe you could say, I didn't know this was all there in the beginning, and now I do, and, I'm having second thoughts. Well, think about it a lot, because each relationship brings with it something that you're going to have to decide if you could put up with. So you're already far into this relationship for some reason. You did pick this guy. You were physically attracted to this guy. So it's like there was some component in the beginning of the relationship that, you took on and decided to marry this person. So what I'm proposing is a different take on being right. I can't tell you you're right in your arguments. Obviously I didn't speak to your husband, but it's like what's happening is that you are suffering. You are suffering tremendously because you have a belief system that says whatever this is shouldn't be like this. And you may be entirely right that that's the case, but what are you going to do about it if you're not going to leave? So if you decide to stay, which I suggest you work this out to as far as it could be before you would ever, say, I can't do this. You need to start to take the focus off of your husband and onto you. Now, this isn't going to be one of those, you become the shmata and he gets to be right all the time. But what are you giving up to be right? If you think about it, you're giving up intimacy with your husband by being right. Now, suppressed resentment and trying to go into an intimate situation is very difficult to overcome. I get it. But it's like you want to try to get rid of the resentment. And it's going to have to get rid of by you doing it, because he can't. He can't get rid of your resentment that you've built up over these infractions or these fights that you've been having constantly. You're going to have to get rid of the resentment. And how you're going to do that is by focusing on yourself. Now, I know everybody talks about self-care, self-this, go get a manicure, go get a massage, and all this stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of self-care. You have to value your peace of mind more than being right. You do. You don't know how great it feels to overcome being right and being nice and having the whole thing dissipate. No, it didn't get fixed, it didn't get resolved, but you're back together again. And I'm not talking about just physically, you're back together again. And when you're back together again, and when you guys are getting along, everything just seems to be much easier. You have to get selfish on some kind of level, which means that you have to understand that you are the most important person. Your peace of mind, your menuchas hanefesh, the settling of your soul is the most important thing you can do. You cannot allow this other person to dysregulate you constantly. You have to learn how to regulate your reactions. so that they don't get blown out of proportion and send cortisol and adrenaline and all of it into your nervous system, and that you're walking around in this anxious state, being short, being mean, I don't like him, I don't like the kids, I'm sick of my life. There's something that you have to do here, and that's the good news. If it's you, you can fix it. Him, forget it. You're not going to fix him. He will change slowly over the years. Trust me, they change. I've been married 42 years. They change. But it's slow. It's a slow going thing. And you don't want your health to suffer from it. Take a look at how often you hold on to being right. And it's the principle and the point of it and the issue. You know, like, does it really matter? Like, I mean, really, does it really matter? I'm not talking about big things, you know, cheating and all this kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the nudnicking and the constant, you know, arguing. That you can control. And that you need to take ownership of.